I'm on the phone with Kevin Hardin Jr. Mr. Hardin Jr. is a trial lawyer. He is a former prosecutor with a broad practice that includes substantial experience in defending both corporations and individuals in white-collar criminal investigations and civil and commercial litigation. According to his website, Kevin has tried 20 trials to a jury verdict. He has litigated numerous bench trials, pre- and post-trial motions, arbitrations, and evidentiary hearings. Mr. Hardin found his path to where he is now, partially, we like to say, and hope to say, through his education at Kutztown University. So we're going to hear about that a little bit now. Welcome to the show, Mr. Hardin. All right, so before we get into the whys and hows of Kutztown University, tell us a little background about you and how you got to where you are today.
Well, I'm a lifelong Philadelphian.
Okay.
I went to Philadelphia's public schools and applied to Kutztown. After graduating from high school, I met Jeff Jones at a recruitment event, and I came from a pretty tough background, but was always someone who took my academics very seriously, and it led to me, Kutztown gave me an opportunity. I was a Board of Governors scholar, so they gave me an opportunity to help out with the financial difficulties that my family would have had with me going to college. So once I got that opportunity, I was really excited to attend Kutztown, and I actually came with my best friend who I went to school with from first grade all the way through high school, and we were roommates for the 4 years we were at Kutztown. So it was a very exciting experience for me.
So when were you a student here?
I attended Kutztown from 2003 until 2007.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so you've done a lot of great things since 2007. What was it about Kutztown University that stood out to you when you were here back in those years? The teachers, the structure of how things are done here. What stood out about KU?
Number one was location. Kutztown was the sort of place I had family that I was partially responsible for taking care of. I wasn't a commuter student, but my mother was sick with cancer. My father ended up getting sick with cancer soon thereafter, and it was just the accessibility, but also I had that opportunity to be a little far away from home, but also to have a little bit of an opportunity to go back home if I were needed. So it really was a university that was open to the idea of individuals maintaining their relationships. Their at-home relationship and things like that.
Good.
The other thing that I really appreciated about Kutztown was how tight-knit the community was. You don't realize how tight-knit a community is until you go to another university. When I went to law school at Temple, I got to realize that there were people that I went to school with that I didn't know, compared to Kutztown, where in my major I knew everyone that was in my major. We all competed against each other. We all worked with each other to get work done. We all studied for the law school exams together. So one thing that I really appreciated about Kutztown was the fact that you really could create a community at the university through your friends. I've attended weddings with Kutztown friends, destination weddings in Jamaica that people that we all knew each other, and it was something that I really appreciated.
What about the quality of education, Mr. Hardin? Would you say that it is up there with some of the bigger schools out there?
Absolutely. Kutztown provides excellent opportunities to learn everything that you need to be competitive. It really is. You get out of it what you put into it. I was someone who didn't understand the importance of substantive, I guess you could say of a substantive major when I first started at Kutztown, and I guess you could call me somewhat of a late bloomer. But by the time I finished up at Kutztown, I was confident that I had developed the scholastic abilities that I needed to attend law school. Even though when I did get to law school, I realized that, nothing really prepares you for law school. But it did provide me with the background and the training and the level of professionalism needed to become a contributing member of the law school and then later on the legal community.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about your path following Kutztown University. How did you get to where you are today?
Well, after finishing up at Kutztown, I attended Temple Law School. I didn't take any time off, but I did intern for a mayoral campaign in Philadelphia in the final year of my during my senior year at Kutztown.
Mm-hmm.
It was an open race. There was no incumbent, and I had gotten politically involved at Kutztown. You know, it was one thing that I hadn't done at home, but I did do once I got to Kutztown, was I got politically involved and engaged in our university's organizations and groups. And it was my first time. I'd never done that in my community. So I learned about that at Kutztown and then took it back with me to Philadelphia and
Mm-hmm.
worked on a mayoral campaign, which pretty much was my first time working in an office setting with people. And then I went on to work at to attend Temple Law School. I finished up at Temple Law. I did some internships while there, including at the Defender Association, at a small boutique law firm, and at the district, and working for a judge. I then went to the district attorney's office, where I was a prosecutor for 4 years. Worked my way through all of the beginning units that all lawyers go to, such as the municipal court unit and the juvenile unit. Those are like small-level crimes committed by first-time offenders and juveniles, people under the age of 18.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved on to working in cases where I was prosecuting individuals who were accused of child abuse and child sexual abuse, as well as individuals who were accused of committing crimes involving gun violence or serious violent crime. So that was an experience, something that, you know, I got a lot of the broader policy implications that I learned in our criminal justice program at Kutztown were immediately at play when I became a prosecutor.
Wow. And now you are a part of Eckert Siemens, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, in Philadelphia, and doing very well for yourself. Would you say that your experiences at Kutztown University along that path throughout the past 10 years helped guide you along the way?
Yes, absolutely. First and foremost, Kutztown was not an echo chamber. It was a place where people were very different than what I was accustomed to. I grew up in Philadelphia. There was no such thing as you couldn't go 1 or 2 blocks without seeing pavement.
Right.
Kutztown was not that way. Kutztown was a very rural atmosphere. Although it is a pocketed university, it was a diversity of thought there that I appreciated. It made me a better advocate, and it also prepared me to work in environments that weren't echo chambers. My firm is a very diverse firm when it comes to thought. We have a Philadelphia office, we have a Pittsburgh office, we have a Harrisburg office, and everyone thinks much differently about the way that we should best handle problems that our clients face and that our communities face. But the thing that I've learned is that each of those groups does want genuinely to make things better for our clients and for the communities that we come from. And having that level of respect and that level of dialogue and that ability to think critically about issues that face the community was something that I first learned at Kutztown. I always tell the story that when I was at Kutztown, a tree fell one time, and the neighbors came out with their chainsaws, and they started chopping up the wood. But in my community, I was always accustomed to that being something that the city or the government was responsible for. And seeing that level of engagement and community-oriented action was something that I had never encountered in Philadelphia, and therefore never had the ability to understand why people could think about solving problems in a different way. But Kutztown helped prepare me for that. It made me a better advocate for my own community when I got back to Philadelphia, and it made me a better lawyer.
Wow, that's a fantastic story about the tree. I mean, that's about as powerful as I could get. I couldn't ask for anything better than that. Is there anything else you want to say to any students out there who might be toying with, before I let you go, you have a student, he's toying with the idea of this college, that college, what college to go to. Why should he or she choose Kutztown University?
Kutztown University is heading in the complete right direction. With our new president, Dr. Hawkins, he is what the future of education in Pennsylvania will look like. Kutztown is on solid ground to move forward. It has improved remarkably since I was there, and it was an excellent university when I was there. If you are a smart, focused person who is looking for an opportunity to stand out, to do well, and to have a proper support system, I think immediately of Dr. Warren Hilton and the work that Dr. Hawkinson and he have been partnering on to make sure that the university is ahead of the curve when it comes to making sure that Pennsylvania is one of the states that does well in the future. I advise you to attend Kutztown University of Pennsylvania.
Fantastic. I couldn't ask for more than that. Kevin Hardin, Jr., I want to thank you so much for talking to me for these past 15 minutes. I'll let you go. I know you're a very busy person, and you have a great day.
You do the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.